Warning, the following program has been rated T for truth.
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, we think you can. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report with your host, truth warrior and mythbuster Kathleen Wells. The place where we distinguish fact from fiction, where data is used to drive points home, and where Kathleen takes the position that Democrats and black politicians have destroyed black America. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Now, your host, Kathleen Wells.
Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells, and I want to say welcome my truth warriors and mythbusters out there in Truth Warrior land and Mythbuster land. I'm thinking, I don't have a guest today, so I'm going to open up the phones at the half hour, maybe a little before, so you can get dialing straight away because we'll go to the phones. I want to talk about a few things. Also, tonight is Oscar night, Hollywood, right? So a lot of people, I don't know, are you guys listening out there? Are you out there, Truth Warriors? Are you listening or are you watching the Oscars? In fact, I heard that what the gossip mill says that the movie Get Out will probably win the Oscars. You know, I don't support Hollywood. I'm disappointed by Hollywood. I don't go to the movies, but I did see the movie Get Out on cable. And what did I think? I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I can't imagine it winning anything. It was just like a movie, you know. Actually, you know, the kind of movies I like intrigue and, you know, plot twist and something sort of, you know, sophisticated. Like, you know, as I mentioned before, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Those kinds of movies are the kind of movies I dig, where there's deep character development and all that kind of stuff, right? Things that are kind of, you know, get you thinking about issues deeply and who's this and what's going to happen and why is that character motivated to do this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. But that movie Get Out, you know, that it was okay, you know, nothing to write home about. The idea of it winning an Oscar is unusual. I mean, that was like the best that they did. Anyway, but, you know, last week I talked about that Dianne Feinstein didn't receive the endorsement of the California Democratic Party and that Kevin DeLeon came in second. And Kevin DeLeon is someone that had conceded that half his family had fake IDs and used fake IDs and fake Social Security numbers. You know, can you imagine? And, you know, he conceded to that. And this is someone who's running for the Senate. In fact, he's the, President pro tem of the California legislature, right? Anyway, he's in the California Senate. And he's conceded that half his family has fake IDs and fake Social Security numbers. So anyway, I just read an article where the title is Mexican Man Assumes Americans' Identity for 37 years and steals $361,000 in government benefits. And, you know, he's assumed someone's identity. The investigators went to the criminal records, finding the initial man claiming to be Rijoas had a rap sheet that included 21 different names, 6 dates of birth dating back to 1974. His rap sheet included a firearms violation, forgery, cocaine possession, and multiple DUIs. Immigrations rounded out the picture. He had been deported twice, once in 1994 and again in 2000. During the last deportation, he had given authority to his real name, or at least they thought it was his real name, as Jose Rios. An analysis of his real name is Anduaga's benefits showed he had first applied for supplemental security income benefits in 1989 and was awarded payments retroactive to 1988. He received monthly payments totaling $244,441. He also qualified for Medi-Cal benefits and payments, and which you're not supposed to get because he was a Mexican citizen. He was an illegal alien, but he had stolen. He was using someone else's Social Security number, right? And he received $112,981 in Medi-Cal payments. And he illegally received more than $3,486 in food stamps. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? See, and then, the guy who's running for the Senate and conceded that half his family has stolen Social Security numbers and fake IDs, right? I think that's just amazing. Another thing I want to talk about is this article, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with this article. California has the worst quality of life in the 50 U.S. states. This was a report done by U.S. News and World Report. California has the worst quality of life. Well, that's what we've all been saying, right? But, the indices or the barometer or the metrics that they use are the things that the reason why California has the worst quality of life, they consider things as the natural environment, comprising drinking water quality, air quality, and pollution and industrial toxins. And then they said social environment. What does social environment mean exactly? I mean, what does that mean? That's like a broad, they don't want to say illegal aliens. They don't want to say that we have, Los Angeles. I don't know how many are in California, but Los Angeles has more than 1.5 million illegal aliens. So they call it social environment. What is social environment? Can someone tell me out there? Is that like infrastructure? Well, yeah, our infrastructure is like to pots because too many people are driving on the road, right? And then they said comprising community engagement. What does that mean exactly? Comprising community engagement. What does that mean? I don't know. And then social support. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. They needed to do something a little more specific, right? They needed to talk about that. We've got 1.5 million at least illegal aliens in Los Angeles, and that decreases the quality of life because that means we have 24/7, 7 days, 24/7, 365 traffic on the weekends, day in and day out. Because we have 1.5 at least illegal aliens in Los Angeles. That means that, we've got this is something that Terry Anderson said. We have something like, 3 and 4 families living in one house. 3 or 4 families living in one house. So and that's like almost every house in the areas where these illegal aliens are living, right? So that means how many cars are on the street, right? Because, where I live, you have a driveway, people park in their drive. You don't have many people parking on the street because people park in their driveway. They park in their garage, they park in their driveway. But when you've got 3 or 4 families living in one house, the entire block is like close, bumper to, really close. The whole block is just filled with cars. It's just... And as I mentioned, the roads are bad. What else? What are other things that we can think about that having 1.5 illegal aliens in your town, how will that bring down the quality of life? Maybe, hey, why don't you guys call in and tell me? How does having 1.5 million people in Los Angeles, how does that bring down the quality of life? So I've talked about traffic. I've talked about the fact that we got 3 or 4 people, families living in a home. And that's another thing. It brings down the school district. Our school, see, they don't say this in the article. They say social environment comprising community engagement. Do you think community engagement, does that have to do with schools, you think? Possibly, probably, right? And social support. This is all really, in other words, it's everything. Everything, your life is totally impacted by having 1.5 million illegal folks in your town. The repercussions, the ripple effect, it ripples out into everything. The stealing of soul. I mean, I can't even think of it right now because one of the things that I wanted to talk about is this other articles that says that Black Americans haven't progressed in the last 50 years. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you, when you call in, why don't you call in and you tell me, how has having 1.5 million illegal aliens in Los Angeles, how has that adversely impacted, contributed to California's quality of life being down the tubes? So I've said a few things. I've said the infrastructure, because there's more people on the roads, and they're pothole. Every street is potholed. I've said that. And then I've also said the nonstop traffic. So when you call in, I want you to tell me some few other ways that contribute to 1.5 million illegal aliens bringing down the quality of life of California. But this article that I read, you see, it's not specific. They never mention illegal aliens. It's like taboo. It's like a taboo subject. You can't, and when they also talk about homelessness, they never connect the dots to illegal immigration. They never connect those dots. They never, sort of show the interrelatedness, the interconnectedness between having 1.5 million illegal aliens in your town and, those illegal aliens have like 80% of the construction jobs. That means that American citizens aren't working construction jobs, right? That's like connecting the dots. But the Democrats have this narrative that, illegal aliens only work jobs that Americans won't work. They'll only work in agriculture, and Americans don't want to work in agriculture, right? That's the narrative that the Democrats push, and they've been pushing that for decades. But they've been lying to us for decades. This is what we know. So the quality of life in California is down, and also that's why let me connect that to what the movie industry is like down. And so like a movie like, Get Out gets an Oscar. That movie is mediocre at best, right? So, we're in the land of mediocrity. Everything is substandard. Everything, mediocrity abounds in California and in America now. This is why we voted for Trump. This is why, because we want something different. Democrats act like, things have only been going downhill since Trump won office, right? Things have only been going bad since Trump, life has ended since Trump got on the political scene. Well, we know that's not true, right? Because now there's a report, the Washington Journal put out this report that no progress for Black folks. I hate that term, African American. No progress for African Americans on home ownership, unemployment, and incarceration in the last 50 years. Now, this is just, we've been saying this for years because I listened to Dr. Claude Anderson, right? I know the data. But, the fact that was in the Washington Post, why didn't they put that out? They said the last 50 years. Why didn't they put that report out when Obama was president? Why not? They put it out now that just says everything. The last 50 years. Listen, folks, Trump wasn't even on the political scene for the last 50 years, right? And Black folks have been voting Democrat for the last 50 years, right? Can we put that two and two together? Okay, so let's see. Black folks have been voting Democrat for the last 50 years. And every time you see John Lewis, Maxine Waters, all these Black politicians on television, what are they talking about? Racism, right? And so it's not like we've had our fill of them talking about this stuff. It's not like they haven't been talking about it. John Lewis, the hero of the champ. What is he, the dean of the civil rights? He's the dean of someone who's gotten beat up the head on that bridge. What is that bridge called? Somebody tell me. The Pettis Bridge. I mean, and yet, what have they done? We knew there's no progress. All you have to do is look at Baltimore. Look at Chicago. Look at any inner city. Look at St. Louis. Look at look at Skid Row in Los Angeles. We know this. We know that no progress for 50 years for black folks. Can you play that clip from Malcolm X Sullivan, please? I want to play this. I want you guys to hear it. Then I'll talk about it again. Sullivan? Oh, Sullivan's watching the Oscars, my engineer. Yeah, would you play that, Sullivan? That's my engineer, Sullivan. He can get away with that. So we're going to play Malcolm X real quick, and then I'll go back.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. They see that the whites are so evenly divided that every time they vote, the race is so close, they have to go back and count the votes all over again. And which means that any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You can keep Johnson in Washington, D.C., or you can send him back to his Texas cotton patch. You're the one who sent Kennedy to Washington. You're the one who put the present Democratic administration in Washington, D.C. The whites were evenly divided. It was the fact that you threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House. When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they've brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. A political chump. In Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrats. Only 177 are Republicans. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republicans. The party that you backed controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race. And what kind of alibi do they come up with? They try and pass the buck to the Dixiecrats. Now, back during the days when you were blind, deaf, and dumb, ignorant, politically immature, naturally you went along with that. But today, as your eyes come open and you develop political maturity, you're able to see and think for yourself. And you can see that a Dixiecrat is nothing but a Democrat in disguise. Whenever the Negroes keep the Democrats in power, they're keeping the Dixiecrats in power. This is true. A vote for a Democrat is nothing but a vote for a Dixiecrat. I know you don't like me saying that, but I'm not the kind of person who come here to say what you like. I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. Up here in the North, you have the same thing. The Democratic Party don't do it. They don't do it that way. They got a thing that they call gerrymandering. They maneuver you out of power. Even though you can vote, they fix it so you're voting for nobody. They got you going and coming. In the South, they're outright political wolves. In the North, they're political foxes. A fox and a wolf are both canine. Both belong to the dog family. Now, you take your choice. You're going to choose a northern dog or a southern dog. Because either dog you choose, I guarantee you'll still be in the doghouse.
Well, exactly. That was Malcolm X. I've played that before. I love that. Well, the proof is in the pudding. He was predicting that. He was saying that. He was making that forecast, that analysis back then in the 60s, right? Fast forward to today, 2018, and we've got a report, the Washington Report. It says, it said 50 years after the historic Kerner Commission identified white racism as the key of pervasive discrimination in employment, education, and housing. So this is after the Kerner Commission. This was in the Washington Report. We knew that this was in the Washington Post. We knew this before. We didn't have to read the Washington Post article to know that. All we had to do was look at Baltimore. All we had to do was go to Skid Row and look in L.A. Hey, the bottom line is this. The Democrats, like he said, they're a canine. That's the dog party, D for dog, because they have deceived black folks for 50 years. Because, listen, there's been so many policies, so many agencies, so many commissions, so many Cornel West talking about racism, Tavis Smiley talking about racism. All these academicians, all these black talking heads, Joanne Reed, all these Jesse Jackson. It's just overwhelming, the fraud that these people have perpetrated against black America, against America. It's Democrats, white liberals, because I'm sure, white conservatives are saying, how come black Americans are not progressing? We've had this program and that agency and this commission and that study and this report and all these black folks and academics, academicians and black talking heads. And they've been talking and talking and talking. But even before that, we had people praying and marching and spending money and effort and everything. And we having progress? The proof is in the pudding. The gig is up, folks. The gig is up. Democrats have failed black America. And at this point, any black person who continues to vote Democrat needs their head examined. The evidence was always there. All you had to do was go to St. Louis. All you have to do is go to Baltimore. All you have to do is go to Chicago. But some people didn't pick up on it. Most blacks didn't pick up on it because they still vote Democrat. But now that this report is out by the Washington Post, it's there for you to read for yourself. There's been no progress for black Americans in the last 50 years. What is it I wanted to say? Where was it? The lack of economic progress that's not what I wanted to. The wealth gap between white and black Americans has more than tripled in the last 50 years. Now, and I've said this before I heard this report. Remember, I always tell you the data, and I said I said before on a lot of my shows, I said it will take 228 years for the average black family to catch up to the average white family. I've been saying this for years. And I got this from who? Dr. Claude Anderson. And I don't know why more black people don't listen to Dr. Claude Anderson and say what he's saying. But now the liberal Washington Post, they carry the water for the Democrats, the Washington Post. Now they've done a report. I've been saying this for decades. All you have to do is go down to Skid Row. They got folks sleeping in, black folks, women and children, sleeping in Leimert Park. So the proof, the gig is up, Democrats. What have you done? What have you done? And not only have you done nothing, now you're putting illegal immigrants over and above black kids. Democrats, you owe us. You have lied. You have betrayed us. You have denied. We black Americans have sustained the Democratic Party. But for black folks, Democrats wouldn't be in office. You know, I just saw an article that said Jesse Jackson's son is still getting his pin. Jesse Jackson is another one. What is Jesse Jackson and his whole clan? Oh, Reverend Al Sharpton. I can name all of them. They're phonies, phony. The gig is up. Maxine Water, the gig is up. You've done nothing. You've done nothing. In fact, you've put black folks back, and now you're putting illegal aliens over and above black Americans. And we've been voting for you for 50 years. It's over. It's over. And another thing, this information has been known a long time. Why didn't they come out with it, Sullivan, when Barack Obama was in office? The first so-called black president, the first half-black president. Why didn't they come out with this report when he was president? Because wouldn't Barack Obama have a responsibility to address something so... This is like devastating news. It's like everything has been a waste. A waste. Our lives... I mean, black folks should feel collectively like suckers. I feel like we're suckers. We have been suckered for 50 years. Suckered. Don't you? But I've been saying it. Dr. Claude Anderson's been saying it. There's nothing. We are regressing, not progressing. I mean, just think of all the work, all the energy, all the money, all the agencies, all the programs, all the this, all the that. I can't even name all the stuff all the talking, all the going to church and talking to preachers, all the this, all the that. I mean, hello. And for what? We've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. And any black person, and I want black folks to say, I may stay on this bandwagon for the next forever. Because any black person that continues to vote Democrat, a lot of black folks don't get it. Any black person that continues to vote Democrat is unknowledgeable. Is unknowledgeable. I hear my music. Let me give out the call-in number so you can call in and you can talk to me about whatever you want to talk to me about. But one of the things I want you to touch on is what is the impact of having 1.5 illegal aliens in Los Angeles? How does that bring down the quality of life of California? Do you get it? If you call in, I want you to talk about that. The call-in number is 866-870-5752. 866-870-5752. You can call in. I'm your host, The Naked Truth Report. I'm playing this song because, it's like we shouldn't even, I don't even want to say it. Just take us away.
Are you a local business owner? Are you interested in increasing customer counts and store traffic or increasing traffic to your website? If you answered yes, then you need to advertise on the Naked Truth Report. For more information on how to become a sponsor, please reach out to RJ Beaton at 818-517-KRLA. That's 818-517-5752. Or email us at rj@krla870.com. That's rj@krla870.com. Kathleen Wells, the host of the Naked Truth Report, wants to hear from you. Just like our borders, the phone lines, well, they're wide open. Call in at 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA.
Avant de nous dire adieu,
Okay, hey, welcome back to the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. And hey, guess what, folks? The gig is up. The gig is up. The proof is in the pudding. I've been saying it forever, but now we have it in writing. All we had to do is go to Baltimore and see what was going down, or go down to Skid Row. First of all, we know that California has the worst quality of life by U.S. News and World Report. They won't say it's because we got 1.3 illegal aliens. They call it something like social environment comprising community engagement and social. What does that mean? They just social engagement. No, social environment. That means illegal aliens, folks. That's what that means. They call it they can't even say it. And even when they talk about homelessness, they never say illegal aliens. They never connect the dots to illegal aliens. So the gig is up. California is the worst at the bottom. And then black folks haven't accomplished anything in 50 years. We're going backwards. I've been saying that forever. But now there's a report, the Washington Post. We've gone backwards. So what was Cornel West, Tavis Smiley, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Maxine Waters, John Lewis? Where were these? Who else? I mean, I can't even name all of them. What were they talking about? What were they doing? More importantly, they were sure talking a lot, but what were they doing? All these agencies and programs for decades to help black folks, and we've gone backwards. The gig is up, folks. The gig is any black person who continues to vote Democrat is unknowledgeable. Period. End of story. Okay. Hi. I want to take a call from Bill in Los Angeles. Hi, Bill. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Line 1. Hi, Bill. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Hey, I listened to that Malcolm X excerpt that you played, and are you trying to imply that Malcolm X would ask people or encourage people, black people, to vote Republican?
I'm not implying it. It explicitly stated that.
No. His approach was for black people to form their own government and to segregate themselves, not to vote Republican.
No.
Drop dead. He would be turning over in his grave if he thought, that Donald Trump would be president, because everyone knows that it's a racist administration.
Wait a minute, Bill. You're kidding, right?
No.
Yeah, you are kidding.
I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious.
Well, I just explained to you that we've been voting Democrat for 50 years and we're going backwards.
And
the epitome. Wait, let me finish.
Of Malcolm X, which
wait. Let me finish. I'm talking.
Out of context.
No, let me talk, because I cannot believe that you said it's a racist administration. The epitome of racism is the destruction of Black America. And who has destroyed Black America? I just told you.
Oh, Richard Nixon was so good.
No. Wait, I asked you who. I'm gonna put you on hold because you're talking over me. I said, who has destroyed Black America?
American politics.
No. If you know, Doctor.
Ask me a question you don't like to answer.
No, because I'm not finished.
Oh, okay.
I asked you one question. I said, who has destroyed Black America?
American politics.
No. You don't understand. Voting is quid pro quo. Black folks have voted for Democrats en masse. That means quid pro quo. You get something for your vote, correct? And what have Black Americans...
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Well, why not?
Unless you're a lobbyist.
Well, why are you voting? Then blacks shouldn't vote at all.
Let me ask you something.
No. Let me ask you.
Ronald Reagan do for black people?
I don't understand.
Everything.
No. You cannot answer the question. Listen, I'm going to put you on hold because you keep talking over me. You cannot answer the question. What?
I answered it. You don't agree with it.
You don't think that? Oh, what do we vote for? What do we vote for? What do you vote for?
I don't vote in this system.
Oh, well then,
you think you're going to get something? You think you're going to get something from these politicians? Black folks are not going to get anything.
Are you black?
Yeah.
Oh, so you think we shouldn't vote?
Absolutely.
Oh, so what should we do?
We got to organize. We got to take matters into our own hands.
And do what?
Just like the man you played, Malcolm X.
Do what exactly? Name 3 things we should do right now.
Okay, I think we should set up our own system get our own.
Oh, wait. How do you,
And
wait. How do you set up your own system? We don't own any infrastructure.
Well, you got to take it.
Oh, how do you take your infrastructure? How do you take infrastructure? Be specific. I'm listening. Bill, how do you take infrastructure? Oh, did he hang up? Did you hang him up or did he hang up? He hung up? Are you on the line, Bill? Oh, Bill hung up. Gee. Anyway, I'll take Linda now in Burbank. You want to talk about illegal aliens?
Yes, they have lowered my quality of life as a disabled person. They have sucked up my Medi-Cal big time. Starting when Gray Davis killed Prop 187, Medi-Cal stopped paying for the gynecologist. When Schwarzenegger became governor, Medi-Cal stopped paying at the time for the dentist, chiropractor, foot doctor, but all the kids can have, anybody under 18 and under can have it.
Mm-hmm.
And the vast majority of that age group are, illegal kids from illegal aliens or illegal aliens, to begin with, and because the majority of those kids are able-bodied.
Mm-hmm. I think we have more dreamers here in Los Angeles and California than any other state.
Oh yeah. Next, Brown decided to sign the bill that would be California's version of Obamacare that made my Medi-Cal HMO.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to fight it. And I had to go before a hearing, a telephone hearing. The judge denied me my medical exemption. I applied for a petition for writ of mandate, went to court. The judge ruled against me. And so I'm stuck with my Medi-Cal that's HMO. I can't see my eye doctor anymore. I have to see a lower quality eye doctor,
mm-hmm.
for example.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple other doctors, that I can't see anymore.
Well, explain to me again, how does that work exactly?
Oh, because California's version of Obamacare, people like I guess under a higher income, maybe it's California Care.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, lower income who are like disabled, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What they do with our Medi-Cal is people who are on Medi-Medi, that's part Medi-Cal, part Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
They made our Medi-Cal HMOs.
Mm-hmm.
The only people on Medi-Cal that qualify for a medical exemption are people under 21.
Mm-hmm.
And that group has parents take care of them, number one.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of them are probably here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
The other group is Native American, American Indian. I know a guy who's American Indian, part American Indian, part Scott. I've known him for many years. Quite some time he got Medi-Cal, but that was because he had a knee injury, not because he was American Indian. And the only other people that qualify are people who have AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody else that qualifies, they decide. For example, like Sarah Palin cried out death panels. These are like examples of death panels, only they're not really death panels that kill us. They're just, panels that tell us whether we qualify or not
Mm-hmm.
for a medical exemption.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in. I'm sorry to hear that, Linda. Thank you for calling in. Let me take a call now from Gail in Encino. You want to talk about illegal aliens? Line 5.
Yes, I would. I really appreciate your sentiments, and I agree with you 100%. LA is getting to look like a third world country. LA has been getting a reputation as a third world country. They're taking jobs away from people who are born here in this country. I'm sorry. And we cater to them. And if you say something, you're like you're prejudiced. I'm not prejudiced against their race or Hispanic people. It's just that aren't the people who were born here, don't they get first dibs at things? I mean, to say that we're a sanctuary city, different cities in Los Angeles, and that we're a sanctuary city, it's a joke. So someone can commit a crime and not get deported.
You just heard, I read about this guy who has stole someone's social security number and used his identity and had stolen more than $300,000 in benefits.
It was more than that. I heard that on the news. I heard that on the news today. It was more than that. And it's like accepted, and it's like he's the smart one.
Right.
And the rest of us are picking up the tab for it.
Yeah, we're picking up. And, Kevin DeLeon, who heads the states, who's in the California Senate, who's running for Senate, for Dianne Feinstein's seat, he's her challenger. He conceded that half his family uses fake Social Security.
I know.
Can you imagine?
I heard that. And, he got most of the vote from the Democratic Party.
Can you?
I mean, it's really bad.
It's bad. It's unbelievable. And now California has the worst quality of life. And yet they never connected to illegal. We've got 1.5 million illegals. When they write the articles, they never make that connection.
Yeah, when you put your child in grade school and your child likes to read, your child is being held down by someone who can't read as well, because the teacher tries to keep everyone at the same level. So your child who excels is kept down because this child can't read English that well. Yep. That's in the public schools. That's not fair to the person who's born here. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, Gail. Thank you for calling in. In fact, our schools are at the bottom now. We're at the bottom. Marianne, I'd like to, from Woodland Hills. Hi, Marianne. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Line 4. Hi, Marianne. Oh, she's not there. Okay, let's talk to Mike from Lancaster. Hi, Mike.
Hello, Kathleen. I am thrilled to be able to get through to you here.
Great. I'm thrilled to have you. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Okay, you are talking to the most passionate school choice advocate possibly on the face of the earth. Okay, I am just, since my wife passed away, this is just what gives me a renewed sense of purpose, I've been working on this for a couple years, trying to promote my ideas. I've been able to get them to both Travis Allen and John Knox, and both have indicated to me that they don't want to be associated as supporters of what I'm supporting. They want to run for governor, keeping their support for school choice vague and half-hearted. One thing I've learned about California politics is that California Republicans are the most pusillanimous politicians on the face of the earth.
What does that word mean?
Cowardly.
Oh, okay. Say the word again.
Pusillanimous.
Pusillanimous. I've never heard that word before. Can you imagine? Pusillanimous.
Well, it's a matter of alliteration. Okay? I couldn't say cowardly politicians, but I kind of like the ring of pusillanimous politicians. But it seems that every single Republican in California politician is just terrified of the California Teachers Association. But anyways, I got tired of, I just have strong feelings about how we need to change our educational system so that we have universal school choice in California. And I got tired of waiting for somebody smarter than myself to put down in writing the perfect school choice proposition that would bring universal school choice to California and would be presented in a way that it would resonate even with the voters in a state like California where Hillary carried 60% of the vote. And I've refined it over the last couple of years several times, and right now it's at 709 words. It's called the California Simple School Choice Initiative. And if you got a couple minutes, I'll go ahead and summarize what it says. I'm hoping that eventually I might be able to recruit you into looking at it and then saying that if the California Simple School Choice Initiative or something like it ever were to make its way onto a statewide ballot, you would be supporting the measure, and you're calling upon every elected office holder and office seeker in California to declare themselves on this question. I'm trying to get some attention and some traction for this thing, the California Simple School Choice Initiative. Can I go ahead and describe it for you?
No, I don't want you to go into detail. I'll talk to you about it offline.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, give your number to my call screener, Brooke, and I'll talk to you about it offline. I think I heard you talk about it before. Give your number to my call screener, Brooke, please, and I'll talk to you about it offline, okay? Okay, so let's take a call from Marianne in San Fernando, please. Hi, Marianne. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Oh. What do you mean? Oh, okay. So let's go with Keith in Los Angeles, illegal aliens, negative impact. Hi, Keith. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hello, Kathleen. How's everything? Good.
Hi. Good.
Okay. Let me just say this. It's kind of a report. You were giving a very good report, so I want to give a report as well, which is negative impact here. More than 100,000 non-citizens, that's illegal aliens, are registered to vote in Pennsylvania. This has been just released, I guess, a month ago. Registered to vote in Pennsylvania alone. Says according to a testimony, this is submitted submitted back, I think, a little while back in a lawsuit demanding that the state come clean. This is Pennsylvania and is done by the Public Interest Legal Foundation. So that is already, they have the evidence, and it's clear that illegal aliens are voting in Virginia, voting in Pennsylvania, and, well, obviously they're voting in California as well, because we have our motor voter law, which allows them to register automatically as they get driver's licenses, which they shouldn't even have in the first place because they're illegally here. So that just tells you where we are headed, because it endangers our entire constitutional republic, in that we no longer have representation, but they are being represented above American citizens, particularly in the black community. So our vote is being canceled out.
Isn't that a beautiful? I think that's an excellent example. You know, this is one of the adverse impacts of illegal aliens, them being able to vote. They've been, hey, you know, this is the thing I want to say. If, you know, Kevin DeLeon says half his family has fake Social Security IDs, fake social, whatever. You know, the rule of law is no longer applying. The law and order is null and void in California.
That's right.
This, you know, now that they got driver's license, now they're just inching. I think in Illinois they're also doing something like that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So in other words, we now have, we can put this all together. We now have proof that the Democrats have failed black Americans for the last 50 years. We're going backwards. So now the Democrats have to find new voters.
That's right.
Right.
And you know, Kathleen, can I say something else about this?
Yeah.
This may give a shimmer of light or maybe hope to some people. It does to me, because I know, as you know, I work in the LA Unified School District, and I actually, I supervise kids, and I talk to many kids, DACA kids. I'm talking about mostly DACA kids. A lot of these kids are DACA. And I talk to these kids, and whatever people want to feel, however they feel about all this is, think about something for a moment. When I talk to these kids about America's founding principles, when I talk about the Constitution, when I talk about freedom and liberty, and really explain those ideas and what they mean, from the constitutional conservative point of view, these kids, a lot of them, begin to understand, and they seem to receive those an understanding. If we could turn the hearts and minds of the kids to respect our laws, because if we could do that, we could change things, because they may vote illegally, but guess what? If the liberals are going to let them vote illegally, then if we could change their heart and mind to vote, the right way.
No, they shouldn't be voting. They shouldn't be voting. But thanks for
that. No, but see, just hear me out. I know I'm not saying that they should be voting. I'm saying that if the Democrats, which are in charge of California, there's no doubt about that, it'll be quite a while before Republicans, if at all, take California back. But we do not have California. California belongs to the
what are you saying? We cannot, they're not supposed to be voting. I don't know. Keith, I understand what you're saying, but they shouldn't be. If you're illegal, you shouldn't vote, period. So let me take a call now from Marianne.
A battle that we...
Marianne, line 2, San Fernando.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Oh, great. I'm so glad to talk with you. I have never heard your program before by accident. I was driving tonight. I am completely in accord with everything you are saying. I set up the first drug addiction program for the whole VA as a clinical psychologist, also their first inpatient alcohol program. I've taught at universities. I've done all kinds of things. I would really recommend that everybody and yourself, I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Levine's a book called Plunder and Deceit, Big Government's Exploitation of Young People in the Future, which is so spot on here because that will explain fully. I've never also known Malcolm X to say such an intelligent thing.
Right.
And the first point I want to make I can make some little fast points about education. They've destroyed education. Let's talk about Taft High School here in the San Fernando Valley. We were happy. I'm part of the white folk, and I want to tell you that I would do anything I could to help your cause. And I'm sure other people would also like to help what you're saying. And the first thing to help what you're saying would be to find, I'm sure you have them available, bright, intelligent, ethical, Black attorneys and educators and whatnot that we could get into places of office from the lower levels to the higher office levels so that they could make some change.
No, let me tell you.
And we would be willing to help support that.
Yeah,
because I have lived here in the Valley since the 50s.
Right.
And you're absolutely spot on saying that this state is a travesty and LA has become a hellhole.
It's a hellhole. And I think most Black, like I live in an area where there's supposed to be the educated Blacks. Most of them support Obama. They're crazy. They support Obama. They love the Democrats. But now that
we've all been brainwashed.
They're brainwashed
by the media and other things. And Mark Levine, if anybody has heard him, but reading his books, he has tried so hard to explain to people what's going on and what to do to maintain our constitutional rights, which are being stripped. But he'll explain in greater detail, which I don't want to get into right now, because he'll say it so much better and so much thoroughly. And if you read that, you'll really know the whole story.
Yeah. Okay, Marianne, I'm running out of time. Why don't you leave your number with my call screener, Brooke, and I'll talk to you later. I'm going, I want to thank my call screener, Brooke. I want to thank my engineer, Sullivan. This was a great show. I thought everybody would be watching the Oscars, but Hollywood is so mediocre now. Why watch it? We might as well listen to the Naked Truth Report. And this is my love song to those with deep roots in California, deep roots in Los Angeles, and deep roots in America. Thank you very much. We had a lot of callers. You weren't watching the Oscars, thank goodness. And I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Je m'arrêterai pas d'aimer, quoi qu'il arrive.